can you introduce me again?
Okay. So my name is Tanaka Ndogera. I'm from Zimbabwe, and I work with the Pan-African Climate Justice Alliance. And it's a pleasure to be in this platform where we have the Global Democracy Forum happening in Africa, and which is being facilitated by Youth Cafe and various partners today in Nairobi, Kenya.
Okay, thank you. Welcome once again. We all advocate for democracy, and there is that valuable part of democracy. What will happen once it is lost?
Okay, thank you for that question. I think we need to appreciate that democracy brings various voices into the picture so that people are able to express themselves, and also to make sure that we live in a society where we are all contributing in terms of what we want to see and making sure that good governance prevail. So we need to make sure that we keep their vision alive, and young people specifically, who are the majority in Africa, should continue to push for democracy so that we make it valuable and we make it fit for purpose, so that it delivers the services which are very, very critical for humankind in our respective countries.
Okay, thank you so much. How do you keep democracy in your country?
Okay, thank you so much. So for me to keep democracy in my country, we are very involved in various issues. Firstly, there is need for citizenship capacitation building, so that citizens understand what we mean in terms of democracy, and there are various components of democracy. And the other issue is around electioneering, where we need to see young people participating in elections through vying for political office, through participating as election observers, making sure that the process is transparent, and making sure that the actual voice of the people is heard through this process. So that's how I've been advocating for democracy in my country, and also making sure that we also bring other young people within our region, from our borders, even in South Africa, Botswana, to also participate in these processes, so that we exchange knowledge and we see the best practices which can also take heed in our country to make sure that we keep democracy alive.
Okay, thank you for that insight. There's something you have mentioned about democratic values. The first one is the right to vote. Maybe another one is freedom of expression. How do you think a country can uphold this, ensuring that they are not exploited?
I think the basic fundamental underpinning document, which then is the supreme law of the country, is the Constitution. And if you see in our Constitution, these values, they are enshrined in terms of freedom of speech, freedom of expression. And so we need to adhere to the Constitution so that we make people well vested with what they need to do, and they can also then appreciate and fully participate in the process of the country, because they are guaranteed of these freedoms and they are guaranteed of these rights, which are enshrined within the Constitution, and also even within the international agreements like the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and also even other international agreements. So it's very, very important that people are aware and people have the knowledge of where we are taking this from, so that they are able to fully participate and be involved in this process, because they are fundamental, as we need to leave no one and no place behind, because we are all one and we are fighting to make sure that we achieve a prosperous Africa, and also making sure that we move people out of poverty and we push people towards zero hunger, which is very, very fundamental.
Okay, the last question is, do you feel like empowering marginalized communities is a sign of democracy?
I think in a way it is, because democracy entails that we need to bring all voices together so that we participate in processes which then affect us. So it's important that we leave no one and no place behind, because no one is more superior than the other. So they also need to come and participate in these processes, because at the end of the day, they also need to make sure their voices are there. That's why you see that in other countries we have seen establishment of members of parliament from the people living with disabilities, members of parliament through youth representation, because these are marginalized groups and most of the times they are also the majority. So it's very, very important and critical, and we know very well that this is also the process of making sure that everyone participates in this process of making sure that we maintain democracy in our countries.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much for taking your time responding to our questions.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. Asante sana.